One Google review ended up in court. He didn't threaten anyone, he didn't shout, he didn't even use abusive language, he just left a one-star review. 3 months later, lawyers were reading his words out loud, inside a courtroom. This isn't about cancel culture, it isn't about censorship, it's about the moment a review stops being an opinion and starts becoming evidence. The restaurant had survived for 8 years. It survived rising rent. It survived staff shortages. It survived the pandemic. What it didn't survive, at least not easily, was a single review sitting at the top of Google. The review said, "They lie to customers and reuse old food." It was short, confident, damaging. There was only one problem. The person who wrote it had never eaten there. No receipt, no booking record, no delivery order, just a sentence posted online, under a real name. Within weeks, regular customers stopped coming. New customers searched the restaurant, saw the review, and chose somewhere else. Delivery apps reflected the drop in ratings. Revenue fell sharply. The owner replied politely, asking for details of the visit. There was no response. The review stayed up, and the damage continued. That's when the restaurant hired a lawyer. In court, the defense was simple. "It's just my opinion." That argument works, sometimes, but not always. The judge focused on one question. Was this a personal opinion or a statement of fact? There's a legal difference. Saying "I didn't like the food" is opinion. But saying "they reuse old food" is a factual accusation. It implies unsafe or dishonest behavior. And in court, facts require proof. The reviewer had none. No evidence, no visit, no witnesses. The court ruled the review was defamatory. It ordered the post removed, and damages were awarded. One review had nearly destroyed a business, and it had now cost its writer thousands. If this surprises you, pause for a moment. How many reviews have you written? Would they hold up in court? Let me know in the comments. Do you think online reviews should have legal limits, or should everything be protected as free speech? If you think this only happens in America, it doesn't. In the United Kingdom, hotel owners have successfully sued reviewers for posting false claims about safety violations and hygiene issues. Courts ruled those posts were not protected opinions, they were libel. Reviewers were ordered to pay compensation, because online speech may feel casual, but in court it's measured carefully. Then there's Japan. A damaging Google review accused a restaurant of illegal activity. The accusation wasn't true. Authorities pursued criminal defamation charges. The reviewer was fined. In some countries, a false review doesn't just risk money, it risks a criminal record. The internet gave everyone a voice. Review platforms made that voice powerful. But power and protection are not the same thing. Courts don't examine tone, they examine impact. Did the statement claim a fact? Was it false? Did it cause measurable harm? If yes, the platform doesn't matter. Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, a review can become a legal document. Screenshots can become exhibits. A casual sentence can become sworn testimony. If you find stories like this valuable, consider subscribing to Digital Case Files. We break down real-world digital actions that led to real-world consequences, without exaggeration, without clickbait, just documented cases and what actually happened. Most reviews are harmless. Most complaints are genuine. Honest, negative feedback is protected in many legal systems. But when a review invents facts, or accuses a business of misconduct without proof, it crosses a line. And once that line is crossed, it stops being content. It becomes liability. Online, it takes seconds to post something. Offline, consequences move slower. but they move, and they last longer. If this episode made you think differently about what you post online, share it with someone who writes reviews often. Because sometimes a one-star review isn't just feedback, it's a case file, and once your words enter that file, they don't disappear. They're read aloud, under oath, in court. This is digital case files. But here's the part most people don't realize. Fake reviews don't just fool customers, they bankrupt real businesses. Let me show you something most YouTube videos don't talk about. Case 2, the $350,000 reputation crash. In 2023, a mid-sized home renovation company in Texas saw its 4.8 star rating drop to 2.9 in less than 3 weeks. No scandal, no customer complaint wave, no public controversy, just dozens of one-star reviews overnight. Different names, different profile photos, same pattern. Most of them mentioned terrible service, scam company, never showed up. The problem? The company had never worked with those customers. They investigated quietly. What they found was darker than expected. A competitor had hired an overseas review suppression service, paying roughly $1,200 to flood Google with fake negative feedback. The goal? Lower their ranking, push them off the first page, capture their leads within 45 days. Website traffic dropped 38%, leads decreased 41%, 2 commercial contracts were cancelled, estimated loss over $350,000. And here's the worst part. Removing fake reviews is painfully slow. Google requires proof. Legal complaints take time, and algorithms don't pause while you fight. Reputation damage spreads faster than correction. Now, zoom out. This isn't just happening in the US. In the UK, authorities fined companies for buying Trustpilot reviews. In India, entire agencies openly advertise 5-star boosting packages. In Pakistan, freelancers sell 100 Google reviews for less than the cost of dinner. This isn't a side hustle anymore, it's an underground economy. Case 3, the Amazon collapse. In 2022, Amazon removed over 200 million suspected fake reviews. Yes, 200 million. Behind that number was a network uncovered through Facebook groups where sellers openly exchanged review swaps. The model was simple. Customer buys product, leaves 5-star review, gets full refund via PayPal. Everyone wins except real buyers. One electronics brand rode this wave. Within 6 months, they went from 0 to bestseller. Sales exploded. Then Amazon's fraud detection flagged abnormal review velocity and linguistic similarity patterns. The account was suspended. Inventory frozen, funds withheld, losses estimated at over $1 million in product and blocked revenue, years of growth erased overnight. And here's the psychological angle most people ignore. Fake reviews don't just manipulate ratings, they manipulate trust. When consumers discover they've been misled, trust doesn't drop slightly. It collapses. Research from Northwestern University found that once consumers suspect manipulation, brand recovery takes significantly longer. Even if the product quality is good, trust is fragile, and fake validation accelerates its destruction. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. When you see 4.9 stars with 5,000 reviews, do you question it? Or do you assume it must be good? We're wired to follow crowds. It's called social proof bias. And platforms know this, businesses know this, scammers absolutely know this. But here's where it gets more serious. Regulators are stepping in. The US Federal Trade Commission recently proposed major penalties for fake review brokers. Fines can reach tens of thousands per violation. Because this isn't just marketing, it's deceptive practice, and legally that crosses into fraud territory. So what should you actually do as a viewer? Here's the practical part. Instead of looking at star ratings alone, read 2-star and 3-star reviews. They're usually more balanced. Check review dates. Sudden bursts are suspicious. Look for repetitive phrasing. Be cautious of generic praise with no specific details. And if you're a business owner, short-term manipulation might boost visibility, but long-term, it builds on sand, and sand collapses. The real danger of fake reviews isn't just money, it's distortion. Markets become unfair, honest businesses get buried, consumers lose clarity, and trust, the foundation of commerce, weakens. If you've ever suspected a review was fake, comment below and tell us what gave it away. And if this breakdown helped you see online ratings differently, make sure you like this video. It helps us expose more hidden digital tactics. Subscribe if you want deep dives into the systems shaping the internet economy, because what looks like 5 stars isn't always 5 stars.